It's Monday, it's 5 o'clock, and boy, oh boy, it feels tonight nearly 30 degrees colder than it did at this very same time yesterday.
Wind chills are already in the single digits, and this really cold air is sticking around, not going away anytime soon. Plus, all the snow still on the ground isn't going to help, and more snow is actually coming.
That's right. So now tonight at 5, we are tracking the impact this weather is going to have on all of us across central Indiana. Angela is here. She's in the Weather Center tonight, and she brings us those updates.
Yeah, Angela, fill us in. How low are these temps going to feel the rest of the night?
The temps will go into the single digits. Wind chills in a few places sub-zero. So you said it, very cold, and it is sticking around. That's one of the weather impacts over the next 24 hours. The other will be some snow. Latest wind chills in the single digits. It feels like 1 in Indianapolis, Lafayette, and Kokomo. Actual air temperatures right now in the teens, sitting at 17 in Indianapolis, 16 in Kokomo, 17 in Muncie, and 19 degrees in Richmond. Temperatures will stay in the teens over the next several hours under mainly clear skies before some clouds arrive later this evening ahead of that Tuesday snow chance. That Tuesday snow chance will arrive first thing and impact our weather pattern the early half of the day. Temperatures won't make it out of the teens. How much snow are we expecting? For a good part of central Indiana, this is going to be up to an inch, so not a lot, but keep in mind it's cold, so any snow that falls is going to stick and cause some slick roads. This is the hour-by-hour timeline. If you travel your morning drive early, no issues. Looks to be after 7, 8 o'clock that the steady snow bursts start to arrive. This will be out of here by early afternoon. I'll continue the timeline and look ahead to an even colder night tomorrow night in a few minutes.
Thanks, Angela. And don't forget, you can always keep track of the falling temperatures in our live Doppler 13 weather app. It's a free download in your phone's app store. And after you get it, check out the weather blog for all of our weather team's updates.
Happening now. A man accused of killing a Dutch soldier outside an Indianapolis hotel is now on trial.
The opening statements in the trial started just this afternoon. Rich Nye's been in the courtroom all day with his camera.
He joins us live with a look at what's been said so far in the trial. Rich?
Felicia and Anne Marie, this first day of testimony just concluded here at the Marion County Community Justice Campus. Now, this is not going to be a trial about whether Shamar Duncan shot and killed Dutch commando Simi Puitsema. This jury has to decide this week whether that incident was murder or something less. Shamar Duncan is charged with three counts, 1 count of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder in the shootings of 3 Dutch soldiers. This happened in downtown Indianapolis outside the Hampton Inn on August 27th, 2022. The soldiers were in Indiana for urban warfare training down in southern Indiana, but they had come to Indianapolis for a couple days of rest and recuperation. They went out that night to the restaurants and some bars. They got into a fight with 3 brothers, Duncan and 2 of his brothers. After the fight, the soldiers went back to their hotel. Duncan and his brothers drove by in a truck.
From not very far away, the defendant took aim with a semi-automatic handgun and started shooting into a crowd of unarmed people. The same crowd, some of whom had just been in the fight that he and his brothers had lost. We will see that shooting. We will hear those bullets.
He did fire a 9mm weapon into that hotel. And he'll tell you, he didn't mean to kill anybody. He'll tell you that he kind of did it in blind rage. He'll tell you that, this happened so quickly that he really didn't have, time to really form any logical intent.
So the defense tells us that we should expect Shamar Duncan to take the witness stand in his own defense sometime during this trial, which is expected to last 4 days. The first person on the witness stand today was Simi Puitsema's mother. She identified photos of her son and testified about his commitment and desire to be in the military. Simi Puitsema actually donated organs to 6 people in America in his death. One of those women received his pancreas. She's from Plainfield, and she was here today for the trial. We'll hear from her coming up at 6 o'clock. But as you heard from the defense, they're looking for lesser charges. They're hoping that Shamar Duncan might be found guilty of reckless homicide and battery and not murder.
All right, Rich reporting live for us tonight from the Criminal Justice Center. We'll look for your continuing coverage ahead at 6 o'clock. I'm interested to hear from that lady as well. Other news now. Tonight, one woman is dead and one man is in the hospital after a shooting that police say is domestic related.
The shooting happened inside an apartment at Timber Point Apartments near Shadeland Avenue and Fall Creek Road. That's just west of Fort Harrison State Park on the northeast side of Indy.
Metro Police tell us that it happened around 2 o'clock this morning, and officers spent hours negotiating with a man who they believe was there holding two women against their will. They say eventually that man let one woman go.
Now, once officers got inside the apartment, they found the other woman shot and killed, as well as the suspect who was also shot. He's now hospitalized in critical condition.
Also tonight, Indy Metro Police officers are trying to figure out who is the person responsible for shooting and killing a teenage girl.
14-year-old Deandra Clay Staples died at an apartment complex on the south side of Indianapolis. Her aunt told us her family last saw her Friday night when she left home with a group of kids.
Metro Police say that someone found her body in the snow around 11 o'clock Saturday morning. That discovery made at the Laurelwood Apartments. That's near Shelby Street and East Sumner Avenue.
Community activists believe her death speaks to the problem with youth violence across Indy. It is a problem that they need everyone's help to stop.
From the north, south to the east to the west side of Indianapolis, we're all responsible to look out for one another and humanity. We got a lot of things that we could be doing when we come together. We're better and stronger together.
Police have not made any arrests in her death. They ask anyone who may have information about what happened to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. And tonight we're learning more about a man charged with stalking Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark right here in Indianapolis.
It's really scary, and so we assigned a reporter this today, our Samantha Johnson, and she read through the disturbing details. And tonight, Sam shares what Clark told local investigators.
Caitlin Clark said she was very concerned for her safety. She told investigators over the weekend she altered her public appearances and changed the way she moved through town. And things really escalated when the threatening and sexual explicit messages on social media were tracked to an IP address here in Indy. That's because the man who is now charged, Michael Lewis, is from Texas. Investigators tracked him down at the Hilton Garden Hotel just off Monument Circle. Lewis told investigators it was all a joke, but he continued to send messages to Clark, saying things like, quote, "Been driving around your house 3 times a day, but don't call the law just yet." Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says Lewis could face up to 6 years in jail.
There is a 22-year-old young person here who has been profoundly impacted by what is being said. And I think hopefully it also highlights that there are consequences to what people say online.
Lewis is expected to make his first appearance in Marion County Court on Tuesday. In Indianapolis, Samantha Johnson, 13 News.
We did reach out to the Indiana Fever today for comment. We'll let you know when we hear back. It is a new era for the state of Indiana. The state's 52nd governor, Mike Braun, officially sworn into office.
Braun took the oath of office this morning downtown at the Hilbert Circle Theater, surrounded by his family, supporters, and other leaders in state government. Our State House reporter Emily Longnecker was there and shares what he had to say.
Governor Mike Braun is not just Indiana's 52nd governor. He's also proudly spoken about his role as a businessman, saying during the campaign that he wanted to run Indiana like a business. And today, during his inauguration speech, he called on Hoosiers to pull from that entrepreneurial drive within to face today's challenges.
I am committed to be a governor of not just words, but action as we create a prosperous future for all Hoosiers.
Braun said part of that action will be addressing the cost of property taxes, an issue already at the top of the new governor's agenda this legislative session.
We cannot accept rising property taxes as an unfortunate fact of life, or explore every avenue to reduce the burden on hardworking Hoosier families and businesses.
Republican lawmakers have already said a complete overhaul of the state's property tax system could take several sessions beyond the current one. But Senate Republicans say they'll treat property tax reform this session like they will the budget, making it a priority. using Governor Braun's ideas for reform in the first version of their main property tax bill.
I guarantee you that we're going to give it one good shot at getting that back in place where it needs to be.
Braun also spoke about tackling the cost of health care.
We can accept high health care costs as inevitable, or take on the opaque system to lower costs and increase transparency for all Hoosier families like I did in my own business 16 years ago.
In his recently released agenda, Governor Braun wants to reform the prior authorization process patients need from their insurance companies before they can get care. The governor also wants to regulate pharmacy benefit managers, the middlemen who negotiate drug prices and prescription coverage. Governor Braun said Indiana is at a crossroads and the leaders of the state can be risk takers and trailblazers or maintain the status quo.
We can let government inefficiencies impede our success or reshape government to sincerely serve the people. How about that?
And again, drawing on that theme of entrepreneurial drive, Governor Braun said he wants to make Indiana the standard bearer for small business growth. Now, coming up tonight at 6, we'll tell you what else he had to say about education at the State House. Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
Governor Braun was not the only one sworn into office today.
Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith also took the oath of office. His wife and children were by his side at the Hilbert Circle Theater.
And Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita also took the oath of office in the same ceremony. This is the Republican's second term as the state's AG.